Thanks for allowing me to talk here, and thanks for coming. So here's a joint work with Professor Rob Townsend, and the title for now is called Accumulation and Factors Causing Success. So what we are doing here is basically we use the long monthly panel that Rob is collecting in Thai village. And we use it to say something about the success and non-success of household in survey. And we do it in a way that I guess most people are not able to do so because they don't have this long panel data set. And basically the finding is that there is wealth accumulation at the micro level. And it has a lot to do with the rate of return. The rate of return on asset that each household has. And it has less to do with saving rate and gift. And, but then this rate of return, there's a heterogeneity in this rate of return. And turns out that it has a lot to do with specific, household-specific success story that I'm going to talk about that next. Start in 1998, we do it monthly, we do the cover for province, which is Section South and Lopburi, 2 provinces close to Bangkok, and Buriram Seascape, which is 2 provinces in the northeast, have less developed there. And we start something like June, July, or August, something we collect the baseline data set, and the first monthly interview start in September 1998. Because there is some change in questionnaire, so for measurement issue, we ignore the first 4 months, and we focus on January 1999 up to December 2005. We measure poverty reduction by this head count number. And we have 2 number to use. So by income, this is head count ratio, the fraction between 0. So by income, there's a substantial, this is by location income number, there's a substantial poor household in Buriram Seascape. But there is a circle here going on that corresponds to those population. So and I guess this is why people don't like income number, because you can stay poor most of the time because you don't earn that much. Then at one point you can get a big hit, then the poverty will go down. So by this one. It's quite stable for touching side. It's kind of going down. But still, if you look internal trend, this is the one that seems to gain most. This will be. And here we break it by occupation. Population, livestock, consumer, business. What's striking means again this population you have a clear circle. I think what's striking here is for this business thing, it seems to decline most substantially compared to any other occupation. So there may be something about this business that drive this. Success here means the one that has high return. So if you happen to have high return, we call that success. If you happen to have low return, we call that not success. So the first factor we look at is education. Most household, about 80% of household head has early education level. But this one we run regression of get education at head age, and we get a negative result. So that's what it says. It's a younger than head and higher than education. If we use our household member, you see education attainment vary by location, time, and occupation. So basically that's what this distribution is. This peak is still at 4, which is the level of education for most people, 4-year education for most people in survey. But if you look close enough, then it tend to move to the right. That's because time has one month. Something like the new generation will get higher education. And this is by occupation. Seem to be this cultivation and labor seem to be lower than the other 3. But if you look at this one, which corresponds to labor, the labor here is our type labor. Could be daily wage and skill, could be the skill one. I think the skill one has all this high education level. And this one is by province. Seem to be that the central one has higher education. We use our household member in that month. And then we can use mean or median as a representative. Or we can use max, which is the highest education that some household member can use that as a representative of household education. So this measure, it will change over time depending on educational attainment and also depending on household composition. Let's say if I happen to have high education in my household and I live at this point, the measure can go down. So what we have here, we have something like education seems to be able to explain if we do it one by one. We do it. We put our thing in multi-variable education. So we consider the regressor is education, the one that I just talked about, and then that normalized by asset. And then we consider initial wealth, and we put dummy for occupation. We consider household size, we consider age and control for time allocation, put some dummy. And we have 4 specifications that we consider the dependent variable for all 4 is a rate of return. The regressor will include labor supply and with and without household fixed effect. The idea is to see if we put household fixed effect, how much variation we can help. And household with lower initial wealth and younger head tend to have higher rate of return. We also have this result, education result go away. So this one says education is not robust in cost specific. Either it has negative side or significant or positive side and not significant. So when we do it one by one, this seems to show up, but not when we control for all other factors. And when we consider labor supply, we have this own work is positive significant both with and without fixed effect. And the side estimate of the own labor supply is bigger than the past. So this result is more or less, I think, make quite good sense. So this labor supply, this might be my moral hazard. So if I work on my own enterprise, I'm going to put quite a good effort because that's my own stuff, right? But if I hire someone else, the paid labor one, they probably are not going to work as hard as me. So it is considered with that moral hazard stuff, and this one somehow is a troublesome result. And this one, the low initial wealth, you think of something like concave reduction function. If you have this type of lower scale, the return is likely to be high. And the younger the head is remind you about something like a life cycle model that the young will work a lot and then when they get old and they will retire. And here's one household that may appear in the paper. So this is household that's as high as rate of return in among the livestock household. So it's about 16.8%. Here's a composition. There are 3 members and size and composition never change, so it's a basically stable household. So this is a picture of net worth of this household. So it's going up, and this jump comes from gift from father-in-law. They just give land to this household. And this is a relative position of this household in that province. So basically, start from something like 35% and end up with something like 64% over 7 years. And in terms of income, they have all sorts of income, but the only main source of income is livestock. They do then and the idea they come from this observing other people in the area. So the cooperatives send people to educate them about this occupation. And when they decide to change it, there's some uncertainty. I remember the husband doesn't want to change, but the wife wants to change. And the father-in-law also want them to change. And eventually they will change the occupation. There is this step, which is a help from father-in-law, where he lend his land later, and then the household can get loan from BAC, which is a bank for agricultural cooperative. And here's a composition of net worth and total liability. So 13% is a liability, and the rest is net worth. So for this household, liability is kind of big part. And that's a picture of debt asset ratio. It's fluctuates when scale is something like both 1.5 and at some. And here's a livestock activity of this household. So here what I point is milk per cow. So it's kind of measure of productivity. So it fluctuates over time. So it's not like we can control completely. And here's a picture of total revenue. Revenue from livestock, which is the most. So that one looks similar. Kind of something, price and so on. So and we do ask this household what we tell them among this livestock household, you are on top of it to say what makes them successful. And what the answer is something very intuitive. They say something like that. This it's a selection process. That's how they select the calf. So they go and learn from some merchant, both of them, and they try to apply that later on. It's very intuitive. You think of something like what makes good bread. It's a recruiting process. To get, let's say, Chicago MIT, you get the best pool, and you try to get that best part. So that's the same thing true with this household.